Hey guys, how's it going? Dragox55 here, and today we have well, as you can see, a deck called Sanctuary. This was submitted by my buddy JJ. I'm not gonna say the whole thing just for privacy reasons alone, because I don't know if whatever. So anyways, he sent me a message saying I made a small change to the deck because he was telling me about a deck, but he has not dueled with it since the update. Hopefully he doesn't break it. I have had a lot of success with this deck. I won't tell you my strategies with it, and like to see what you think of it from your own point of view. Please make suggestions to make it better if you can. XYZ and synchros are just there for options. They don't need to be used. Let me know your thoughts, and it would be awesome to see you testing it. Explain your thoughts in a video, maybe on expert mode. I will gladly do that. Anyways, so to start off, I do need to tell you guys the deck, and then I will explain my thoughts, and then we'll get into the duels, of course. Yeah, and just so you know, the side deck is stuff that I personally put in just to see if the deck doesn't work out, that I could try switching into the deck, so I will not be showing the side deck until after the duels. So yeah, let me close that. Okay. Anyways, first off we have 2 Air Knight Parshafts. I know it's not the same order he sent in the message, but it's how it came up on here. So yeah, 2 Air Knight Parshaft. Basically, he's a level 5. You tribute him, you can bring him out with Nova Summoner if you have the field spell, and when he does battle damage, you draw a card. He also does have the ability that if his attack is higher than the opponent's defense, he does damage too, so really good card. The only downside, he's level 5, but that doesn't matter too much. 1 Christia. Basically what it is a 2800 attack point monster, level 8. That's, you know, you'd be like, okay, 2-star, 2 tributes, I don't really want that, but the effect makes up for it. So basically, if you have exactly 4 fairies in your grave, and my controller hit my computer, so actually backed me out of that. Basically, if you have 4 fairies, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you bring it out that way, you can bring a fairy back from your grave. And the other part of this is neither player can special summon, but really, with this deck, I'm trying to think. You would bring out what you need first, and then you pretty much bring out Christia for game blocking things. Even, like, you could just bring out Christia and just go really crazy, you know. Just like bring out Christia, and most decks hate this. Even Dragon Rulers actually really hate this card too. The only thing that Dragon Rulers would make this card not really, like, they wouldn't care about this card is if they drop double fire type and blaster and just blew this card up. The decks that you really would watch out for with this is I would say Fire Fist. Because Fire Fist can just go into Bear and then just blow it up with Bear's effect. But other than that, it's really a good card and I recommend it. Counselor Lily. Now, one thing I had to point out is that I'm going based off of decks that I've made personally back in the past with fairies, agents, and whatever. And based off of Bruce's, if you actually watched it, the Heavenly Draw deck, because his deck is a little more Sanctuary the Skyish than the things I use. So I'm trying to mix it up between that, since I actually do have a little more experience with fairies. So Castellar Lily, not really bad. You synchro summon and you pay 500 life points to give your synchro monster 1000 more attack. Thing is, though, I don't know, I can't really say anything about it until I test it out. It's just like a weird thing when I look at it though. Something just, it just doesn't feel like I want this in the deck for some reason. But we'll see. I haven't used it in a duel yet. Two Master Hyperions. You can special summon this by banishing an agent from your hand, otherwise you have to normal summon it. And it can banish one fairy to destroy one card on the field. And if you have Sanctuary in the Sky, you can do this twice. Pretty good. Can't complain about it. Medora. The thing, like, Icy is pretty good, you would think. If you had like some kind of mill fairy thing, I believe. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if you're going through a lot of fairies and then you have them in the grave, of course you're going to summon Medora and get like a big old attack boost. But the thing is, though, when I'm looking at it, is that, you know, you have Hyperion, which is banishing stuff. I mean, it is the only one that's banishing things, so it's not really that big of a problem. But still, like, my opinion on that right now is that because you have Hyperions, it kind of counteracts this card, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. 2 Neo Parshaft, the Sky Paladin. You tribute 1 Air Knight. You can special summon it by tributing 1 Air Knight, otherwise you summon it normally. And if this card attacks a defense position, it does piercing. We already talked about what piercing is. When this card inflicts battle damage, you draw. And let's see. Oh yeah, and the other effect is if you have Sanctuary in the Sky, you gain attack. Or wait, when your life points are, while you have Sanctuary in the Sky and your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card gains attack equal to the difference between the life points. So like I say, you have 9,000 life points. You get it, and your opponent has 8,000. You get a 1,000 point boost. Okay, so it doesn't decrease like some other card, like Ancient Sacred Wyvern, I think it is, that does get decreased if you have less life points. That's good. 3 Neos, or not Neos, Nova Summoners. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can special summon 1 Light Fairy with 1800 or less attack. A little better than Shining Angel, because Shining Angel forces them in attack, but Nova Summoner could be attack or defense, so pretty good choice there. And if you have Sanctuary in the Sky, you can bring out Air Knight Parshaft, which is pretty good too, because you can just go into the 1900s like I talked about. So, and even if you want to, you can go into Neo Parshaft also. Definitely a good choice there for sure. 1 toughest, still kind of debating on it, but we'll see. I mean, true, it lets you draw and whatever. I'm just trying to think if I would rather play this at like more than 2 than just have it at 1, but that's for the dueling to decide. Anyway, so while this card's face up, you draw a card if you draw a fairy. Or wait, hold on. Okay, while this card's face up on the field, if you draw a fairy, you can reveal it and draw another card. Basically, it's really good if you want to keep drawing and drawing and drawing. Decks like Slifer gets really boosted off of it, like Slifer fairies. You can just boost up your hand like so, like by a bunch and whatever. It lets you draw through the deck quickly. Even like Exodia decks can use this in a way if you did like Fairy Exodia. But in this case, it's still a really good card because we have 21 fairies, so the likelihood of just drawing to a fairy increases and just keeps drawing and drawing and drawing until you get like a spell or a trap, you know. So, yeah, it's pretty good. As I said, it might be boosted up to 2. We'll see though. Agent of Mars. So, yeah, it has no attack or defense. But anyways, this card is unaffected by any spell cards. So technically, I don't know if that implies Sanctuary in the sky too, but I believe it does. Anyways, so you can't get Dark Hold or Soul Takered or whatever the heck what happened to this. But it is also a downside if you're trying to equip like this onto it. Just saying. But you know, it probably doesn't matter. So you can't. So it's not like one of those cards where you can just boost it up like 20 axes of despairs and then you're like, okay, I win. Let's see. So while you control a face-up Sanctuary in the sky, and your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card gains a difference in attack and defense between you and your opponents. So basically, if you're like 1,000 points higher, you gain 1,000 attack and defense. Pretty good. Pretty good for Sanctuary, I think. I mean, it only becomes a dead draw if your life point, you can't manage to get your life points higher, and you're in a clutch, then you're basically going to be setting this. So that's something to watch out for if you can't keep your life points higher. Agent of Mystery at 3. Really good card, especially in Agents. You normal summon it, and then you can search on Agent from your deck, and if you have Sanctuary in the sky, you can add Hyperion. So, yeah, pretty good. It's also a tuner, by the way. So, personally, I like to play this card with Venus, to be honest. But, in any case, what you could do is use that Valhalla in the bottom right, special summon Force, summon Agent of Mystery. If you have Sanctuary, you can add like Hyperion, or I guess add Fort of Mars. And also you can't add itself, I think, right? Or can you? Yeah, you can't add yourself, okay. So you have a total of 5 targets, which, not too bad. I think the only time this would go minus is if you don't have Sanctuary, because you only have 2 other choices. But it's not really that bad, because it's still a tuner, so. Level 2 tuners are always really good in many situations. Not really much I can say about that other than that. So basically, like, what I'm trying to guess is, I mean, you could just, if you have nothing better, you can try to get Mars, but mostly you're trying to get out Sanctuary first, and then you're trying to get out, like, everything else. I mean, hinting at the name, Sanctuary. And every card basically has something to do with Sanctuary, like this one, not that one, or yeah, that one too, actually. So yeah, I mean, pretty good. 2 Zeraid, I don't know how to pronounce that, Zeraidius, Herald of Heaven. So basically, you can discard this. It's basically like Captain Gold for a Sanctuary in the sky. For people that don't know what that is where you can discard. It's one of those monsters. You discard them, and then you can special summon, or not special. You discard the monster. They're usually like 2,100 attack points or something ridiculous like that, and then you can discard them to get a field spell. Depending on whatever, like Warrior of Atlantis is Legendary Ocean, Gravekeeper's Servant, or whatever it's called. Oh, Commandment, that's what it is. Gets Necro Valley. I'm not going to say her naming them all, but you get the point. So yeah, basically you can discard this to get Sanctuary in the Sky, and if you don't have Sanctuary in the Sky, of course you destroy this card. As all cards with level 4 effects. Level 4 effects with high attack usually have some backside of blowing themselves up in some weird manner or not attacking. Oh wait, no, it was 3 Herald, not 2. My bad. 2 Cestus, whatever. You can equip this to a fairy type monster, increase the attack of the fairy equipped with this card by 500 points. When the monster equipped with this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent's life points, increase your life points by the equal amount. Okay, I get how this is gonna go. you equip this as something like, let's say, do you do piercing damage to this? No, you don't. So I would assume we're going with the thing of equipping it to something that does piercing damage. Or even boosting this up and just wiping out life points or something. And then you gain life points, of course, and your life points get higher. Pretty interesting. I mean, it doesn't work with Mars, sadly enough. Otherwise, Mars would probably be very OP. Right. One dark hole. It's very much stable. Now, this, well, one MST. I think you could boost that up to 2, personally. I mean, you really don't have much in terms of back row destruction. And before you ask, well, I have Hyperions and Hyperions and traps that negate stuff. I mean, in the term, oh wait, I'm looking at there you go. Anyways, in the terms of getting past stuff, you always want to have like MST or whatever in your deck, like at least 1 or 2 of them. I'm not saying 1 is bad. I would rather have 2 though. That's like a little better of a feeling, so I can reassure myself that I don't get solemn warning for bringing out Hyperion if it comes down to me having this as my last option. Just saying, it's not, having 1 is not a bad choice. It's just something that I personally don't do. Like I always try to put 2 MST at least so I can get rid of back rows. If you were in the case of this, I mean, you could even side this out for Night Beam, I think it is. So your opponent can't chain anything to it, but MST is still really good. Alright, so enough on MST. Now, here's a little problem that I have with this. You have 2 terraformings. I get that you're trying to get Sanctuary to the sky as quickly as possible. But my problem with it is you already have like 3 searchers for Sanctuary in the sky. Not to mention, like, you have 5 searchers just for 2 field spells. I mean, if you really wanted to get out quicker, I would say get rid of 1 terraforming and put it in another Sanctuary to the sky. Or even better yet, I would get rid of the terraformings. It's not a bad card at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying because you have 3 searchers already that you're just clogging up the deck with terraformings. And like, if you don't draw into terraforming or Sanctuary in the sky, and because you're clogging up with terraformings, Zeradias has a little more, this is about to get math terms up in here, but a little less of a chance to actually get drawn to, along with other stuff that you need. So maybe if you switch these out with pod dualities, maybe? Or maybe if you just switch one of them to another Sanctuary in the sky, it's a little better than having 2 of them. But you know, we'll see. As I said, in the duels, we'll probably get a better understanding. Battle damage. Oh yeah, Sanctuary in the sky, we have 2 of those. Basically, if any fairy type monster gets attacked, like Blue Eyes attacks a Marshmallow in attack mode, you don't take damage. So, pretty good. Cloudians use it. This deck uses it. Agents use it. Fairy decks pretty much use it a lot to pretty much stop damage. Even Cloudians love this card because they can't get damaged and they can't be destroyed by battle anyways. And then we have 1 Valhalla. Yet again, I pretty much kind of like it too a little bit more, but we'll see. Maybe it being at 1 is a little better. You can special summon 1 fairy if you have no monsters on your field, which is good because I love to special summon Christia with it. Because, oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but if Christia is sent to the grave, instead of being sent to the grave, it can go to the top of your deck, I believe, or is it like no option? Oh yeah, if it would be sent to the grave by any means, destruction, or being sent, you can put it on top of your deck instead, which makes Christia very annoying to deal with. If you're the opponent, of course. And then you just bring it out with Valhalla next turn, you know. Yeah, you can bring that out. You can like summon out Earth and bring out Arcade Hyperion. So your opponent's like, oh, well, I get rid of Christia, you bring out Hyperion. You're like, okay. Oh yeah, another thing about Hyperion, you banish an agent from your hand deck, or hand, field, or graveyard. That's something I didn't mention. Sorry this video's getting a little lengthy. Divine Punishment. Activate only if you have Sanctuary in the Sky, pretty much like every other card I've been looking at. Negate deactivation. It's basically like Solemn without the payment. So you can negate a spell, trap, or monster effect and destroy that card as long as you have Sanctuary in the Sky. Which makes me even more just one have 3 of them instead of like 2 terraformings and 2 Sanctuary. But, you know, we'll see. And then we have 2 Light of Judgment. I actually never really heard of this card. But, anyways, when you have Sanctuary in the Sky, actually I never really heard this card, Divine Punishment, but it's pretty good in my opinion. You can activate this card by discarding 1 light monster from your hand to the graveyard. Choose 1 card your opponent controls it from, or 1 card in their hand. You can look at it and send it to the grave. Huh, that's interesting. So I would discard 1 light monster to look at my opponent's hand. Right? That's what I'm understanding here. Oh, okay, I could choose something they control or a card from their hand and then send it to the grave. I look at their hand when I do this too, it looks like. It's a one-time thing, so I can't continuously do it. Okay, I can see this working a little bit. It's not bad, to say at least. Not sure how I feel about the cost of discarding it, or discarding a light monster though. But yet, it doesn't seem too, you know, we'll see. We'll see in good time. 2 Mirror Force to obviously protect you from attacks, and 3 negate attacks to obviously protect you from attacks. Kind of seeing a lack of Compulse or Bottomless or even Solemn Warning. Not really a bad thing. Kinda wish I had something to stop summons though. Because there's some cards that you really don't want to be summoned. But I mean, I guess this makes up for it, so like you don't get effect hit or something. But then again, as I said, we'll see in the deck. The deck also has a synchros and XYZs. He said they're just there to, you know. So this one gains attack or something like that. I probably should go over these, shouldn't I? Except I don't even know what these mostly do. Let's go over it a little bit. Sorry if the video gets too long. Once per turn you can change the battle position of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls during the battle between... See, this one doesn't even say anything about piercing damage. Okay, so this basically does piercing damage. You can change the position of a monster. So, which means you change the position to something that is weaker of defense or weaker of attack and you attack over it. Pretty good. I can't complain about that for sure. 1 Celestial, I actually don't know what this card does. Okay, so this card is destroyed and sent to the grave, of course. You target an opponent's monster and loses 2,400 attack. Alright, so we got... It's a 6-star, and... Alright, not too bad. Can't complain about that for sure. 2 Gaias. Really good because you can't Venus Chain this card because it has no effect, of course. So, pretty good. I say the least. Mech Djinn, I actually have no idea what this does either. It is a fairy though, so at least going in the right track for this. 3 level 4s. Now, let's see. That's 2, 3. Alright, we got Nova Summoner as a choice. Medora. And obviously Zeradias. Not really sure if I'm getting 3 level 4s out with this. Which is another thing to kind of keep in mind. If you're going for XYZs, you need to kind of watch like what you can actually make. Like the possibilities of you having Medora, Nova Summoner, and Zeradias is kind of low, considering they're the only level 4s you have in this. But yet again, we'll see if this card actually becomes something I can play. Anyways, when this card is XYZ summon target with defense monster your opponent, or target defense position monster on field. Change it to attack, and if this card has XY Mech Engineer as an equipped, it gains the effect. Oh, is this one of those things where you actually need the bright? Yeah, those are pretty much for another topic on a video. Let me see if I can actually pull one up before. I think it was like, actually I think it was like force. There we go. It's mostly for cards like this that those cards really exist, so you can actually use like rank up magics on it. That's something that, you know, I know you said you're not a pro, I'm not a pro either. I just know it involves using rank up magics. That's what mostly it's for, but you know it's there. Anyways, when this card flip, oh, that's the only if it's equipped with that, okay. So you can change something to attack. Alright. 2 Fairy Cheer Girls. You can detach 1 XYZ from this card, draw 1 card. You can only use the effect of Fairy Cheer Girl once per turn. 1 card from this card. Oh, so you just draw a card. Okay. This one's a little more reasonable that I can bring out. 102 stars. See, there's the 3 level 4s again. Wait a second, 3 level 4 lights. That leaves me only with Nova Summoner and Zeradias, because Medora is Earth, so I don't know, we'll see. I don't know how I feel about that card either. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ from this card and target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls half its attack. Also negate its effect. If this card is face up on the field, would be destroyed, you can detach all XYZs from this card. If you do any battle damage, you take this turn's halved. Oh boy, that was a lot. Basically, you target an opponent's monster, you half it, and you negate its effect. And that's pretty much for the rest of the time it's on the field. Also, if this card be destroyed, you detach the rest of its materials, and if you do any battle damage with... Oh, it's any battle damage, not just this card. So any battle damage you would do... Wait, what? Oh, no. Any battle damage you would take is halved. Like, let's say they attack you with blue eyes. You would usually take 500, but you can detach to save this card and take 250 damage. Gotcha. Sky Pegasus, I talked about it before. You activate its effect, your opponent gets the ability to either protect their monster by paying 1,000 or is destroyed. Pretty good. I mean, it's a risk taker, but I like it, so. 1 black ship of corn, or actually 2 black ships. Maybe switches down to 1 if you're going to use XYZs, but I don't know. And basically detach one and send anything with attack equal to or less than this card to the grave and deals 1000 damage. Of course, this card can't attack when it activates the effect. Alright, right now the deck seems to be pretty good off right now. There are some things I would change about it at this moment, but for now, we're not going to talk about that because that's not what this video is for. Even though I did talk about terraformings and whatever. We'll talk about what I would take out and change in the video after the duel. So I hope you guys are ready for the Let's Play of Part 7 and 8, I believe. Catch you guys later.